but it was just a modified pipette, the things that you use, little like water droppers. So we cut that at the top just so we had that kind of like little knob part of it, and you'd fill that with water, and he had 2 beakers in front of him. One was filled with oxygen, and another one had hydrogen. So he would put that little pipette on top of it. They had a little pipe system, tube system. So you would get that gas into the pipette, and that was kind of our reactants for our experiment. So you were trying to find the perfect ratio.
Wow, that's super cool. I guess if they're going to launch rockets to space, they got to get the ratio right too.
Yeah.
All right, so Quentin, I think you're going to add to this. I've got a different picture here I'll put up. This is a picture of you guys holding some kind of a lighter object. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So the lighter was essentially our spark, but for our rockets to be able to be launched, we needed to find that, as Rose said, the perfect ratio, which we learned through math and stuff. But which we learned was a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen, and you could do 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, but as long as I had that 2-to-1 ratio. And we kind of went off script a little bit for ours, which we did 4 hydrogen and about 1.5 oxygen. And that with the rest filled up with water, because with the water, how the water works is, one, it's like a seal that keeps all the gas in there when you put it on the lighter to spark it. And then 2, it allows the when you actually spark it, when the chemical reaction and that reaction happens in the pipette, that explosion is allowed to push off of the water, allowing it to actually propel through the air.
That is super cool.
Yeah,
I know. I saw you guys blasting it over. You were trying to get a certain distance and kind of dial it in, which, again, I assume when they're launching real rockets, they don't want to carry extra fuel, so they only want what they need, and they have to react at the right amounts.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I realize you can't launch rockets yet. You're just in high school, but that's a pretty dang cool lab.
We're almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there.
Really close.
All right. Well, it's cool. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. And now I'd like to bring Jason over. All right. Jason is featured in our upcoming play. And, oh, I'm sorry. Should I be using your stage name, Lonnie?
Why not?
All right. Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about Lonnie in the upcoming Rock of Ages show?
So, Lonnie is a big goofball in the upcoming Rock of Ages show. He is the narrator of the entire play musical. He narrates the lives of Drew, Sherry, Dennis, all of them, including himself. Rock of Ages is a jukebox musical. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just a musical made up entirely of songs that have already been made.
Sweet. Do you think the 80s rock fans out there are really going to dig this show?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If you are an 80s rock fan, you will absolutely love this show.
So here's a little up close of the flyer. I just put it on the screen for our viewers, and here's a little bit of information. Also, let me go ahead and flip that up there. So basically, we've got coming up Friday and Saturday. It's February 7, February 8. Doors open at 6:30. You want to be on time because the show starts promptly at 7. And this is at the West Valley High School auditorium. Yes. All right. And are you a little bit excited for this event?
I am very excited for this event, Eric. It is a big thing. We all have worked so hard on it, and I especially am very excited.
Yeah, when the actors and actresses and the producers, Michelle and Dell and Jonah, put on all this effort into creating things. You got Evan helping with set construction, and it's a huge team effort, and it's just such a pleasure to watch you guys work your magic.
Man, it's ecstatic that the show is almost here.
All right. So with that, I would like to take a moment. We've got a little shout out. First, a shout out to Jason. He's got the most lines in this play. It's a huge task to memorize all those lines. And his teachers and the producers were telling me how much work you've been putting in outside to make sure you got your academics up to par and you're taking care of all your business. So thank you for your responsibility and being a major part of that team.
No problem.
And then I'd also like to share a KG Award today. So I've got Alexis was nominated by our staff for a KG Award for this live stream. I want to tell you a couple of things that her teachers said. So here's Here's her KG award. I should have had Jason. Would you mind just holding that
Yeah,
for
I
me
got
for a
you.
minute? I don't have a still image of that one, so if you can hold that up. And then a couple of things that teachers shared. Emily said, Alexis, I'm really proud of you for handling the birthdays. You make each student feel special on their special day. Also, Michelle talked about how much you're enthusiastic about our school community, and Elise mentioned how involved you've been in FBLA and helping students to join and keep that club alive. So thank you, Alexis. Wanted to take a moment to honor you today and appreciate what you do for our school community. So with that, can I bring Casey back over real quick, please? So let's swap Jason out for Casey. All right, Casey.
Oh, goodness.
Guess what? When we were recording, we were live and they got us, but I think our audio was muted. So we're gonna try to do our little spiel again just to get this on recording. It's okay, it'll be all right. So just
That was my best one yet.
I know, it's been great. But you got this down pat. So tell me something. You guys are doing some cool science there in Seth and Eric's class. I know you guys are working with bacteria, doing some genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. I'll
Yeah.
put a picture up for that again.
So we genetically modified a harmless form of the E. coli bacteria using what is called a plasmid, which is a little circle of DNA. I'm gesturing even though they can't see me.
Yeah, and that's why it's glowing in this picture, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let me get that back to us so you can keep talking to them.
Now the plasmid gives the cells instructions to build proteins. It's quite literally called green fluorescent protein that make them glow.
Wow, that is so
Like under
amazing.
black light.
Yeah. So my daughter is a junior in college at University of Washington, and she told me that she just did this lab in college.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, and like if you want a little detail on how we get the plasmid in there.
Yeah. How do you get something as small as DNA into bacteria?
Yeah, we use a little thing called an inoculation loop, which is like a stick with a circle on the end of it. We dip that into our vial of the plasmid, and then twirl the end of it around in the tube that contains the bacteria. Now, we also had a negative without it, just to see. The plasmid also gives the bacteria a bit of a resistance to antibiotics, so like that one. So like we had two plates, like one had ampicillin, which is an antibiotic, and the other didn't. So even if my group hadn't spilled our negative, it wouldn't have grown on the ampicillin plate.
Wow. So that's done a lot in science where you have controls and variables, and you
Yeah.
try to make sure that you know
Yeah.
when something is or isn't happening.
Yep, and in order to get the bacteria to accept the plasmid, we had to temperature shock them, like 10 minutes in ice water, or 50 seconds in a hot water bath, and then 2 more minutes in the ice water.
And I think, am I right that somehow makes it open up its membrane and allow the gene to get inside?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Wow, that is just some really cool science. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm sorry, Casey, for like 3 takes. I think we finally got this thing down. I hope you all have a great day. We're going to try this again in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we can nail it down. Thanks so much. Live from the Lair. Have a great day.
Trial and error.